This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Welcome, folks. I'm Damon Bruce. Thursday Hoops. It's going to be the Indiana Pacers up against LeBron James and the Miami Heat. And now we send it out to American Airlines Arena. Kevin Clark and Steve are there, courtside, ready for tip-off.
It's an Eastern Conference showdown as the Indiana Pacers come into town for this one. Very excited to bring you this edition of our NBA broadcast here on 2K Sports. Clark, Doris, and Steve are with me. This is Kevin Harlan, and welcome to our broadcast of the NBA. Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. Granger, Hansbrough, and Hibbert are the front court. Collison is out there with Paul George. And for the Heat, Wade and LeBron fill out the wings. Joel Anthony is out there with Chris Bosh, and it's Chalmers in at point guard.
You got to wonder, has Miami set off a bit of an arms race in regards to talent with what they were able to pull off last year? Are other teams going to look to stack stars just to try to keep up?
And it's going to be the Pacers off the tip. Collison kicks to Granger. And there's the pass to Hansbrough. Shoots. Money on the 10-footer. Hansbrough's got the opening field goal of the game for the Pacers. Mark, you brought up the stars wanting to play with each other. You know, Steve, it seems like that is the trend now in the NBA.
Well, I think every player wants to play with great players. It's all circumstantial, really. If you're a free agent and there's a team with cap room and you've got a partner who you want to play with and you can work it all out like Miami did, then that's great. But I think those circumstances are going to be few and far between. Man, is he hard to defend. You play him one way, he'll just go the other.
Granger backing him down. Outside Collison. Down to 5 on the shot clock. With the clock winding down, Chalmers knocks it loose. Here's Chalmers.
I think Darren Collison is penciled in as the Pacers' point guard of the future, and with blazing speed and a really insatiable appetite for the game, the future's bright for him.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to speak with Eric Spoelstra for a moment. At this point, we know what works for us and what doesn't in terms of our scoring options. Now it comes down to our ability to execute and not let the defense dictate what we're trying to do. Guys?
Okay, Doris, thanks. So Clark and Steve, they'll be focusing first and foremost on their offense today.
And I guess what they're thinking, guys, is if they can get going at that end of the floor, it'll carry over to the defensive end.
Well, that's generally the way it works. I mean, offense feeds your defense and vice versa. But if you can bring energy and score points early, that's going to be a huge help for this club today.
Well, Darren Collison's shooting percentages fell back to earth a bit last season following his scintillating rookie season. But, Steve, he's still plenty dangerous offensively.
Well, he's so quick, and he can get around his defender at will, and he's added that jump shot. He's gotten much better with that shot. So Darren Collison, a guy who can beat you in a lot of different ways.
Now here's Collison. Granger backing him down. Wade is tagged with the reach. That's his first foul. Here's Collison. Hansbrough against Chalmers. Shoots from the elbow. That's good on the jump shot. Rush has got his first points of the night. Here's Wade.
You know, I think it was really exciting for this Pacers team getting into the postseason last year for the first time in 5 years, guys. I mean, the youth helped as we saw the passion come out in that Game 4 win against the Bulls. And I thought they competed very well in that series and have some promise going forward.
He's a pleasure to watch on the offensive end. I know I wouldn't want to guard him.
Now Foster. And Bosh picks him up defensively. Granger for the three. That's good. Clark, I agree with you. You know, brought the Pacers making it into the postseason. They were the 8th seed, but really did a good job against a very talented Chicago team, Steve.
Yeah, very tough opponents. Anytime you're going up in that first round against a team like the Bulls as an 8th seed, I mean, you get to see what a team like that's made of. And I think that young Pacers squad really accounted for itself in a good way in that playoff run. We'll see if they can take advantage and really have a good season this year.
Now, here's Collison, looking for his first bucket of the game. Clock at 6. Granger against Haslam, and there are the Pacers with another bucket. 1:07 left here in the opening quarter, and Miami calls their first time out of the game. Well, Anthony's checked in for Miami. House comes in for Mario Chalmers. And the Pacers also changing it up. Josh McRoberts is checked in for Hansbrough. Paul George comes in for Brandon Rush. And George Hills subbed in for Darren Collison. Here's Haslam. He dishes it to House. Wade, a screen on Hill. Shot clock at 6. Here is House, defended by George. And that one's good. House.
That mid-range jumper, just another one of his weapons.
Outside Hill. Granger backing him down. The shot, good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. That's 7 points for Danny Granger. The Heat trail by 5. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Here is House. He's guarded by Hill. Three-pointer, and Eddie House hits from deep. He's got 5. Here's Hill. One second left, and again it's Indiana converting. The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. Pacers lead by 4.
And it's been beautiful basketball to watch, guys. Really sharing and moving the ball, and as a result, they've got a great flow going.
Hand in glove, 5 guys working as one. The power of the fist, we call it. They've racked up a bunch of assists.
And we'll return momentarily. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. Here is House.
Well, the Pacers have a reputation of being an up-tempo run-and-gun team, but last season they were just in the middle of the pack in fast break points. They were really more of a defensive club than anything.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. On the floor for Miami, Joel Anthony is out there with Haslam. Then there's House. Then it's Mike Miller. And it's LeBron in at the small forward position. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Hi, Kevin. Well, one of the things that was key to the Miami Heat's success was Coach Eric Spoelstra showing his level-headedness throughout the turbulent season last season. His calm demeanor helped him what was a season under the microscope. Dwayne Wade said of Spo, "One thing I always said about Coach Spo is he's even. He's even keel. He never gets too high or too low." And that is what helps this team win games, guys.
Thank you, Doris. A lot of coaches wouldn't have been able to deal with the season the Heat had last year.
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs, and even in that finals matchup against Dallas, Spoelstra kept his cool.
Steve, let me go back to the Pacers and give you a number. You touched on their defense. You did. It ranked 12th best in the league last season. Clark, that's a good place to build.
That's a nice place to build and a really nice improvement from the prior year. I like Granger as a two-way player. He's pretty good defensively when he's locked in. Collison is quick and can be a factor pressuring the ball. And the big guy, Roy Hibbert, made the greatest strides, being able to defend the paint without fouling.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game.
Well, you could see last season with the big three that early on offensively they couldn't quite figure it out. But as the season went on, they got more and more comfortable with each other. And I thought by the end of the year, they played pretty well together.
And some changes here for the Heat. Chris Bosh is checked in for Haslem. Wade comes in for LeBron. And it's Chalmers in for Eddie House. Then for the Pacers, Tyler Hansbrough checked in for Josh McRoberts. And it's Granger in for Brandon Rush. Here's George. It's Hill on the wing. Wade against George. Hansbrough misses. The Heat trail by 5. Chalmers with it. Wade outside. 5 on the clock. Blocked. Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. Here's Chalmers. Eyes a 3 off the inbound. And the shot is good. Chalmers has got his second bucket of the night.
When the Heat struggled early on last season, Eric Spoelstra was unfairly thrown on the hot seat. He kept his cool, though, very impressively, and the Heat turned their season around and the talk quieted down. That's a credit to Spoelstra.
And the defense really has to pick it up here, guys. They allowed themselves to get picked too easily.
Timeout called, the Heat. And the Heat with some changes. Haslem comes in for Joel Anthony. And it's LeBron in for Mike Miller. Then for the Pacers, Brandon Rush. He's checked in for Paul George. And it's Collison in for George Hill. Here's Wade. The feed to LeBron. And here is Chalmers. Feeds to Bosh. Good luck. That's good on the jump shot. Bosh has got his second bucket.
Well, the big story, of course, a year ago for Miami was the formation of the big three, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. And although it took some time for those three to click, eventually they figured it out.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Kevin, Udonis Haslem is a Miami native and a core leader of this Miami Heat team. Prior to last season, Bosh, LeBron, and Wade all took millions off their contracts to make room for him to resign. And Haslem took $14 million less than he'd been offered elsewhere. Wade said, "This wouldn't have felt complete or whole without him. The bigger picture is about sacrifice. People say athletes are selfish and care only about the money, but they're going to have to find another way to criticize us here." Haslem said, "Family has no price. $14 million doesn't add up to what I would have been leaving behind." Guys, some people rooted against the Heat, but plenty of reasons to admire them.
Haslem, so respected league-wide. Good to see him stay with the Heat. Thanks, Doris. Steve, back to what you said about Miami. They struggled out of the gate. They were 9-8, but after a rough November, they kicked it on in December. And Clark, I think really the game that kind of spun them around was their first LeBron appearance in Cleveland in early December against the Cavs.
Yeah, that was an impressive win. I recall that was almost like an NBA Finals type atmosphere in terms of the media attention and so forth. But in that month, they went 15-1 and really seemed to find their rhythm and, quite honestly, never looked back.
A different look for Miami. Joel Anthony's checked in for Bosh. Miller comes in for Udonis Haslem. Eddie House subbed in for Dwayne Wade. Then for the Pacers, Foster comes in for Roy Hibbert, and it's George in for Danny Granger. We've got 1:13 left now here in the second. LeBron against Hansbrough. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Hansbrough's got 6.
Yeah, they're not going to miss too many of those. That's high percentage stuff there.
Here is House. He's got 8. Fires from the line, and the Heat get another bucket right there.
You look at their scoring. Mid-range jumpers account for 6 of their last 10 points.
Well, defensively, they're doing a nice job of keeping them out of the paint, but you got to give them credit. They're knocking down shots.
Now here's Collison. Still looking to get on the scoreboard.
You know, Kevin, by and large, the turnover story hasn't been that bad for them. I mean, they've only given up a handful.
The first one falls. That one is no good. Indiana leading. George passes to Collison. Rush from outside. Here comes Mario Chalmers. He has 5. Here's LeBron. He nails it, and we're tied up. It could go. It's all tied in Miami. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena.
Hello and good Thursday night to you. We've got your HB halftime report ready to go. The Heat are giving it everything they've got. One look at their shooting percentage from the floor, and it's easy to see why the first half broke the way it did. Getting it done early, D. Wade. Nothing comes easy. He's done the hard work, and they could pull it out once they get to the second half. But the Pacers getting after it as well. They've limited the second chance buckets. They've been crashing the defensive glass, playing big on the defensive end. Some terrific basketball out of Danny Granger. The bucket looks about 5 feet wide for him. He hasn't missed one shot. Can you believe it? These two have set the benchmark so far tonight, leading their teams in first half scoring. And now let's get the second half rolling. Here's Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. Here's Chalmers on the court for Indiana. Granger, Hansbrough, and Hibbert are the front court. Paul George is out there with Collison. Anthony left side. Dwayne Wade on the wing, defended by George. 6 to shoot. A leaner. And another basket for Miami.
And you look back at LeBron's arrival in Miami and how it affected Dwayne Wade. Well, his shooting and scoring went down a little bit, but you would expect that with so many weapons offensively. I thought Wade was very efficient and really sacrificed his game.
And here's LeBron outside, and that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers.
Living a little room service dime with that dish.
Pacers trail by 5. You talk about sacrificing his game. It was something that Wade had to do, as well as LeBron and Bosh when they all came together in Miami.
I think it's a major adjustment for all three, maybe more so for Wade and Bosh than LeBron. I think LeBron is comfortable being a facilitator. As a matter of fact, I think he likes that most about playing basketball.
Really?
That's what I seem to see him get the most enjoyment out of. Passing the ball, setting other people up. And his brilliant talent dictates that he has to do more in order for his teams to win. So I think for Bosh, who had been a prominent focal point of the offense for Toronto, and for Wade, who's been unbelievable throughout his career, they probably had to make a bit more of an adjustment than even LeBron did.
You know what's interesting about LeBron with his size and the power he puts in back of every pass? Those cross-court passes look effortless, but you need a strong throw to get it over there and on the money.
Yeah, that's his greatest attribute to me, other than his ungodly athleticism.
Yes.
And speed. His passing ability is really special.
And the Pacers call time here.
Well, you look at this Pacers roster, a nice young blend of talent and size and versatility. They had the flexibility this past summer to add some other nice players. So this team seems to be on the rise.
Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Joel Anthony. Here's Collison, looking for his first bucket of the game. Hansbrough up top. Wade against George. Shot clock at 5. Will it go? Powers down the dunk.
You know, the defense that time was just content to stay out of the way. I mean, no resistance at all. They let him do exactly what he wanted to right there.
Steve, no one looked too anxious to take him out.
No, you know, guys, I think that speaks to his strength and his agility. I mean, he's not a guy you want to stand in the way of as a defender.
Wade. The shot, no good. Granger with the defensive effort. Pacers trail by 7.
Well, you have to love what Tyler Hansbrough brought to the Pacers a season ago. The progress he made coming out of North Carolina was really impressive. He's a tough player, competes hard, and his offensive efficiency is impressive. He's put on an offensive clinic. They've got to deny him the ball.
And if that fails, then double him, Steve. I mean, they can't allow him to continue to hurt him like this.
Now here's Hibbert. And Bosh picks him up defensively. A nice shot by George. George has got 7 points in the game. Now we're going to get to Tyler Hansbrough that Steve was just talking about, and you work with in Indiana with the Pacers. His NBA career got off to a tough start when he suffered a serious ear infection that gave him vertigo and affected his balance for quite a while. It was kind of scary, really.
It really was scary because it took a while to diagnose exactly what was going on with Tyler, and once that was cleared up, he got the treatment and had to stay away from physical activity for a long time, but he was back healthy last season. And I tell you what, you love the way this kid approaches it. Low maintenance, hard-working, tenacious and wanting to get better, and really raises the level of intensity of his team in practice and in games. And I think he's going to be a really good player going forward.
Timeout called the Pacers.
Well, the Pacers handled themselves pretty well against the Eastern Conference last season, 28 and 24. And they seem to be a team on the rise. They've got a lot of young talent, and having made the playoffs last season, they're hoping for more this year.
Joel Anthony's checked in for the Heat. Indiana also making some changes. Josh McRoberts comes in for Tyler Hansbrough. And it's Dunleavy in for Paul George. There's 1:17 left to play here in the third. Collison kicks to Granger. Kicks it to Hibbert. Haslam's there. Hibbert gets the bucket. Hibbert's got his first bucket of the night. And for the Pacers last season, finishing 4 games under 500, but they are an ascending ball club as they made the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, they're building it the right way, too. Larry Bird and David Morway putting some pieces together. A nice core group of young, hard-working, talented players. Now you just, with some salary cap room there, perhaps you can add a piece or two to elevate your talent base and your experience level. Being patient, not taking shortcuts. They're headed in the right direction.
Good place to play.
Yeah.
Now here's Granger. And again, it's Indiana converting.
Boy, what a great job of getting into the teeth of the defense and scoring in the paint.
And that's been their main point of attack. I mean, get the ball deep and try to score from in tight rather than rely on their outside shooting. I mean, that's a more consistent way to score it. Take it inside.
They grab their own miss. And Haslam backs down. Over Dunleavy. And the Heat get another bucket right there.
Well, the only way to stop him is to keep him from getting the ball in the first place.
Collison kicks to Granger. With 2 seconds left. And it's blocked. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. What can you say? LeBron James, what an impressive effort today.
Well, we know he can score, so it's not really a huge shock to see him put up these kind of big numbers.
And I would think that he most likely will continue to carry on this kind of play into the fourth.
Live from Miami, we're back in a moment. And now our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, has a report for our Sprite Spark of the game. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Eddie House gets our Sprite Spark Award. His play off the bench has provided a huge lift to his team and really changed the course of this basketball game. You have to love the energy he's provided.
Great, Doris. Thanks. He has been a true catalyst, Clark, off the bench.
Boy, I tell you what, man, he gave them something they'd been lacking. I mean, it basically changed their attitude and their disposition out there. I mean, he had that kind of impact.
And that's something you don't always see, guys. I mean, a player coming in off the bench and assuming a leadership role, that was impressive.
So with LeBron on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. Chris Bosh is out there with Haslam. Then there's Dwayne Wade. Then there's House. And it's Anthony in at the 5. Rome in the paint. House kicks to Haslam. Haslam a screen. Here is House. Back to Wade. Takes the 3. Gets it to go. And the Heat lead by 10.
Finally getting into rhythm here in the game after that whole first half.
Hill kicks to McRoberts. The dish to Foster. Now Anthony defending. Here's Dunleavy. Bullseye!
Yeah, they're finding the open man. Unselfish play. I like it.
Yeah, I love it too. Teamwork in evidence there, right on full display. A big percentage, a high percentage of their basket have come off assists.
And the Heat call time here.
He wants to make a few adjustments out there, and he's running through those with his team right now.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. He wanted his guys to keep up the intensity, saying, if any of you think this game is over, you're wrong. We've got work to do. I don't want to see any letdown on the defensive end of the floor. Guys, let's watch how it plays out.
Poked away. It's stolen by Hansbrough.
Well, that's a really slick move to come up with that steal.
There's the screen. Six on the shot clock. Three-pointer. The shot by George, no good.
I like the defense, guys, really getting a hand up and challenging shots.
Yeah, Steve, lurking on that shot, and that was a tough one.
House dishes to Wade. He gathers. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
When you think of elite shooting guards in the NBA, Kobe Bryant is the #1 name that comes to mind. But Dwayne Wade is really close to being his equal.
That free throw good from Wade. Clark, you brought up Wade and Kobe. Both have been talked about and compared to Jordan, Steve, during their respective careers.
Yeah, I think Wade has a lot of the same qualities as Michael Jordan in terms of the athleticism and the ability to rise under pressure. He seems to really thrive when the game is on the line. He enjoys taking that last shot. He doesn't worry at all about missing it. He's a guy who wants the ball in his hands with the game on the line.
The Big Three in Miami had a tremendous amount of success in year one. They didn't reach the 70-win mark, which I think was crazy for people to be talking about anyway, but they still managed to get 58 of them.
Man, they are both lighting it up here.
Exciting basketball, Steve. I mean, it's been back and forth, each side dropping in points every chance they get.
He's picked up by Hill. LeBron up top. Pass to Miller. Good, and the assist goes to LeBron. And the Heat lead by 9. Back to the Heat. 30 of those wins were at home. Very strong team, Steve, in Miami.
Well, that home record was good for 3rd best in the Eastern Conference, and I think they're actually looking to improve on that record this year.
And the Pacers call time here. A different look for Miami. Chris Bosh is checked in for Augustus. Haslam comes in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Chalmers in for Eddie House. Indiana also making some changes. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Foster. Granger comes in for George. And it's Dunleavy in for Darren Collison. Here's Hill. Dishes it to Granger. From downtown, it's hauled in by the Heat.
Even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger.
Yeah, not enough defensive coverage there to prevent him from firing that time, but I think if he's open, he's got to let that thing fly. He is just so good from that range, guys.
Never mind with the height advantage he had there.
And the Pacers call time here. The Heat making a switch here. Wade's checked in. Paul George, he's checked in for Indiana. Collison comes in for George Hill. Here's Collison. Now Granger. And he banks in the layup. Granger's got 5 points now this quarter.
Guys, he's really shot the ball well. It's definitely not his fault they find themselves trailing in this one.
Collison against Chalmers. Passes it to Bosch. And he bangs it home with one hand.
Well, he's got enough hang time there to put a little something extra on that one. 2 scoops of ice cream after that.
Well, that's a play that's going to be remembered from this game, that's for sure.
I think that was more like a banana split, Clark.
Here's Collison, following the basket by Chris Bosch. Now here's Collison. Granger inside the line. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison. Here's Chalmers. They can take their time on this possession.
You know, guys, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, gives themselves a little break, too.
Catch their breath, you're
Yep.
right. Now here's LeBron. And Granger picks him up defensively. LeBron kicks to Haslem. 6 to shoot. Chalmers. The 3. And again, Miami with the triple.
They're looking good here, adding to this lead.
Yeah, you know, time winding down here, the score and the clock clearly in their favor.
Granger outside. Collison with it. Deflected. It's stolen by Wade.
Well, that's an empty possession when you're that loose with the basketball.
And the basket by Chalmers.
And that ought to do it. That should seal the deal.
Yep, I agree. Closing it out with relish.
Granger backing him down. Collison against Chalmers. It's tipped. It's stolen by Wade. And Miami has possession. It's a 14-point game. Lifts up. LeBron, good. And the Heat lead by 16.
Well, they've looked good here tonight, and now they are coasting to the finish line.
Steve, just a matter of time right now.
Granger backing him down. Can they get it? And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. It's going to be on Udonis Haslem.
There's a lot of contact there. Good call.
You know, he bothered his shot, but he still got a pair of free throws out of it.
And the first one at the line is good. A different look for Miami. He's perfect from the line this time. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Dwayne Wade.